Hey guys, what's going on? Hope you're having a good Thursday morning. Just going to do a quick testosterone update because today I'm celebrating my 6 weeks on testosterone and I'm very sleep deprived, but very excited about it. I've really seen so many changes in the past 6 weeks that it's really mind blowing. So I'm just going to sort of go through all of them and touch upon the new ones so that way anybody who hasn't seen my other update videos can catch up. So, physical, because that's what everybody wants to know first, always. So I've been really bulking up, getting muscle in my chest, my arms, shoulders. You can check out my Instagram for pictures or check out some of my other videos to see really the definition that I'm getting. I was never somebody who was able to have like all of this muscle no matter how much I worked out. So now that I'm on a macro diet and I have a drop set routine, I'm doing so much better. I thought I was a little bit behind because I actually got injured, but I seem to be doing much better and I've been back at it since yesterday. And it seems like the rest did well for me because I pretty much like doubled up on my muscle mass. So yeah, hair, body hair, I'm getting it, but it's blonde. I did notice as of yesterday that I'm getting hair on my knuckles, on my hands, which I can almost guarantee that, yeah, forget about it. I mean, you can kind of see the peach fuzziness, but like, as I said, all of this is blonde. It's really rather frustrating. I don't know why, because super dark brown hair and, under my arms. So, everywhere. I don't know. But getting body hair is awesome anyway. I'm looking forward to eventually getting facial hair. I did notice that I'm like getting a little bit more here in the mustache area, but it's not noticeable unless you're like looking for it. Definitely not going to help me like pass, which is something that matters to me. Otherwise, yeah, hair, like I started to get more body hair on my upper arms, on my upper thighs, the front of my legs, a little bit. It's more that it's just like getting longer. My hair on my head is growing like ultra fast at this point. And pretty much like my eyebrows are like almost completely back filled in from when they used to be like overly waxed. So that's really pretty sweet. Voice change. So I know it's hard to believe now, especially if it's the first video of mine that you're watching, but I had a really big first voice drop. You can actually see my voice drop video. It was really, really deep, and basically it just keeps fluctuating. It was really deep for a couple days, and it just keeps going up, down, all the time. It's really frustrating, but at least, I feel good about the fact that it has the potential to get that deep. I think that it will settle eventually. Who knows when? Hopefully sooner than later. I've talked about growth down yonder. It's normal to get that. Nothing like astronomical since I first noticed, but it's definitely noticeable. It's different. Urine still smelling strong as ever. Sweat. I'm sweating literally like 3 to 4 times the amount that I used to sweat. I'm actually like pissed because I never used to sweat and I was prepared for it. I thought I got really great, or what I thought was really great deodorant, and it was for some time, but like now I have to reapply it several times a day, so I might have to go on a hunt for something a little bit stronger. What else physically? I measured myself recently and learned that I'm actually 5'4", not 5'3". I need to clarify this at the doctor's office, but I used a measuring tape, and one of my friends watched me do it over Skype. So I'm going to say that, yeah, I'm 5'4", and I think it's really unlikely that all of that growth occurred while I was only like 6 weeks on T, and it is rather like rare to grow taller, but I do think that I clearly was like growing over time, and I think that the growth of my muscles and the working out and the stretching and all of that has just like allowed me to really like get to that height, which is still like ultra short, but like those are the things that matter to like a short trans dude like myself. In terms of like swelling and everything, I guess my hands are like ever so slightly like a little thicker, but like it's also getting warmer outside, and I tend to really swell up my hands and my feet over the summer, but I do know that that is something that can happen. Eating, I mean, so many dudes are like, I can't stop eating on T. It's so funny because I have the polar opposite situation. It's actually like really hard for me. I still can't reach my macros. I keep getting really close, but it's like extremely hard for me to eat that way, even with protein shakes, which has led me to like, I feel like I've lost even a little bit more weight because even the new pants that I got that were a size down are lower, so I think I'm going to have to like go to the thrift store and start trading in some stuff. But it's funny, my shirts, like sometimes I need a bigger size now because like I used to never fill this shirt. Like, and my arms used to be like really ultra fatty, and like now I have to like that hurts to actually do that because that it's like really not very much fat anymore. It's like being replaced with muscle. Emotionally, I have been feeling so much better. Before I started to physically transition with hormones, I was like really having a lot of mood swings. I was extremely depressed all the time. And let me preface by saying that I already have an anxiety disorder and like clinical depression, so like it's not really new to me, but it was just sort of like once I really was like ready to accept who I was, it was just like everything seemed so urgent and burning, and still does in terms of my dysphoria. But otherwise, like, I find myself, like, I like the fact that I can still cry. I've always been a sensitive person, but I'm, like, I have way more handle on my emotions. I am finding that, like, things are starting to settle, I feel like, a little bit inside me, hormonally and chemically, just because I'm not getting, like, as randomly irritated, and I'm actually starting to, like, feel, like, real happiness for, like, more than 5 seconds, which is huge for me because I sort of realized very recently that I was, like, literally never, like, honestly happy. Never, like, in the global sense in terms of, like, who I was and, like, how I fit into the world and just, like, in general, it wasn't, like a real happiness that, you know, even though I have days that are really, really hard, even though I'm extremely dysphoric about my chest and my hips and, you know, other areas of my body, every day, it's totally better than what it was. Actually, something interesting, I didn't think about this really, but I've actually I'm just keep seeming to become, like, more and more dysphoric about my chest, and I realized that my chest is, like, for lack of a better word, like, a little perkier, and sort of, like, I'm finding that it's harder for me to actually hide them, and I think that it's actually because, like, I am growing the pec muscles, like, underneath, so I feel like it's actually just, like, pushing them out, which was something I 1,000% did not think about, like, didn't cross my mind at all for even a second, so I'm definitely, like, counting down the days, but I still have to raise the rest of this money first. But surgery is booked for June 16th, so that's really soon. I'm, like, practically counting the seconds, not even just the days. What else? I feel like emotional, physical. Yeah, pretty much that is it, but it's not even, like, I don't want to say that is it, like, nothing happened. Like, I'm very aware that there's a lot of change. Obviously, there are certain things that I'm really looking forward to and wanting to change, like, immediately. But I'm definitely heading in the right direction. So for all of you dudes who are like freaking out because you haven't started tea, or you're starting tea soon, or you just started tea and you're like, oh my god, why aren't there any changes? I was the same exact way, and literally, like, you're gonna notice changes rather quickly. I know that it doesn't feel quick, but 6 weeks is actually a really short amount of time. So just hang in there, and thanks for watching my update.